Here I am at the LDS, the St. George Temple. It's a really beautiful building, and I happen to have some fantastic backlighting right now. I was raised Mormon, and even though I'm not now, I left the church a long time ago for various reasons, I still find these old buildings to be really remarkable and beautiful. When I was a teenager, I was a pretty artistic kid, and I always found these structures to be just beautiful. Especially these older original temples, the Salt Lake Temple, the Logan Temple, the St. George Temple, and the Manti Temple. I hope to get over to the Manti Temple because that's the one that I really found to be the most beautiful. In fact, as a kid, my parents bought a little near Pioneer era house in Manti, and we used to go to the Manti Temple and look at it. And again, I wasn't so much interested in the theology, what was going on in the temples. I just found them to be incredibly beautiful structures. Unfortunately, my experience with Mormonism was not a favorable one. It didn't fit me, and so I no longer am part of the church, but you still can't deny sort of the historical nature of Mormonism. It's a very unique American religion, and we fortunately have a lot of these incredibly beautiful structures that are part of American history now with us.
But that's Truman Angel's, that's a copy of Truman Angel's architectural drawing.
This right here.
And when Brigham Young actually got down here and they started building it, then they had kind of change of heart.
Right.
And so what they ended up doing was to actually build the one that you see over here in the picture. This was the way it looked when it was actually dedicated in 1877.
Wow.
That's an actual photograph of the dedication day.
Look at that.
However, the plot thickens.
Right.
When they, after they had finished the temple, 18 months later, a lightning storm came over the city and cut it off.
Really?
Literally, the lightning hit it and cut it right to the square.
That's fascinating.
Didn't do any damage to the temple per se. And then they rebuilt the steeple and made it bigger, and that's the picture of what it is now.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That's the same one that's up here.
Okay, so that's now...
So there's one in the planning. This one was the one that got cut off, and that's the one that survived for 150 years.
That's fantastic. Now, how long was the original on there before it got taken
18
off?
months.
18 months, and boy, nature came along and just took it off.
Yeah, I always tell people, I say, well, do you think that was a coincidence, or do you think that was... divine intervention? And
right.
The answer is, of course, we don't know, but one day we'll find out.
Right.
But the truth is, I like the new one, of course, better than the old one.
Well, proportionally, I think
it's way proportionally better.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I also asked him how many support workers there were, people that were working to gather timber and that were working at the quarry, in addition to the construction workers at the site itself.
40 or so at the sawmill, and then they had another 70 or so, 60 to 70, working in the rock crew.
Okay.
Bringing in the rock and so forth.
Check out the Cannon pile driver that was used. How cool is that? When workmen broke ground for the temple foundation, they discovered a thick layer of soft, wet clay that clearly would not support a wall. Rather than build on another site, the workers were instructed by the prophet Brigham Young to drive volcanic gravel into the soil to make a solid footing for the foundation. They converted this cannon into a pile driver by filling it with lead, encasing it in timbers, and then dropping it from a 35-foot scaffold. In some places they had to drive the gravel 5 feet deep before the ground became firm. Here I am in the visitor center. Look at this awesome mural that they have going on here. Here I am above St. George, looking down into the St. George Valley right here, and I'm on my way up to the rock quarry for the St. George Temple, which can still be accessed via a trail that apparently is pretty easy. And it's up here on this ridge, so I'm going to go explore that. Here I am at the entrance to the trail that goes out to the St. George Temple rock quarry. Imagine this 150 years ago, people going out there to haul rocks down to the St. George Temple. There's a little plaque right here that says, pioneer workmen transported basalt stone blocks for construction of the St. George LDS Temple Foundation by wagon over this temple quarry trail. How interesting is that? There I just came from. Check this out. The trail was built to access the quarry on the southwest side of the Black Hill. The large lava rock was needed for the foundation and basement walls of the St. George Temple because the stone was impervious to the alkali soil. How very interesting. So look at this. Look at this, all this volcanic stone around here. It's pretty amazing. Boy, look at this. This is the epicenter of the rock quarry from 150 years ago. How just incredibly cool it is. It's unfortunately a cloudy day, but the rocks have a lot of sort of gleam to them because it was raining earlier. This is where the rock was quarried for the foundation of the St. George Temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Lava flowing from volcanoes to the north formed this rock, which is impervious to the alkali and water found in the soil where the temple was to be built. The stone was quarried into slabs averaging 10 feet long, 42 inches wide, 13 inches thick, 5,500 pounds in weight. The unique method of loading them for hauling was by placing the stone on 6 inches of soil, straddling it with the wagon, securing it to the undercarriage, and then removing the dirt from under the rock. The quarry was active during the early 1870s. Check this out. I'm recording this in 4K so I can get this in a lot of detail. There's evidence of the cutting on that stone from 150 years ago. How amazing is that? Here you can see other drill marks in this stone. And there are more drill marks right there. And here we have some more evidence of holes from the quarrying process. When you start to look for it, there's evidence all over the place of cut marks. Here's another fantastic example of the rock cuts that you just find. Those shafts that were drilled into the rock. I was just walking by and saw that one.